One of the things I hear over and over again at our piggy petting zoo is how people feel peaceful while they're there. People say how much they didn't realize they needed this and how they feel calm or grounded. This is one of my favorite things about the petting zoo that I didn't realize we would be helping people feel. And it's so rewarding. Most people, when they come to the petting zoo, they think they're coming just to pet cute little pigs. But what they don't realize is they're actually coming and receiving something so much greater. When they leave, they're talking about how they feel. I've watched it happen over and over again, dozens of times. It doesn't matter how young or old, male or female. It seems like everyone that comes to the petting zoo experiences the same feeling of calm. After a few minutes of people just quietly sitting with the pigs, something begins to change. Their shoulders relax, their breathing slows down, their voices get softer, and they stop looking around. They stop looking at their phones. They stop thinking about what's next or what's for dinner. And just for a little while, even for just a moment, they become fully present. I think one of the reasons this happens is because pigs, they live at a completely different pace than we do. They aren't worried about tomorrow. They aren't rushing to the next thing. They're not multitasking. They are incredibly present. And when we spend time with them, they naturally invite us to that same rhythm, that same pace of presence. Something else that I've noticed at the petting zoo is the movement of people's hands as they're petting the pigs. Almost everyone seems to be petting the pigs in the same exact way, in a very slow, gentle, back and forth movement. And as it turns out, there's actually good science that backs up why this rhythmic motion of moving your arms back and forth is so calming. Research shows that that motion, that back and forth motion of moving your arms, it actually activates the parasympathetic nervous system. That's a big word. That's the part of your nervous system that's responsible for rest and recovery and relaxation. It's also one of the reasons that pet therapy and animal-based therapies often include just grooming animals or just brushing them and simply petting them as part of their practice because of that motion, that your arms just kind of moving in a back and forth motion. That repetitive movement, it helps us to relax, but it also brings us back into the present moment. It helps us feel present. And I think that that's exactly what's happening at the petting zoo too. We spend so much of our lives just rushing through them in autopilot. We're going from one responsibility to the next. We got to rush to school. We've got to rush to work. It's one notification on our phone to the next, checking this, checking that. And we've gotten really good at just doing and going. And we have really gotten out of practice of just being present. One of my favorite authors is Cal Newport, and he has a book called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. And in it, he talks about how what's become very normal in our society is to just be in autopilot and to just keep going and going and doing and just rushing through life, and how that's one of the biggest enemies that we're fighting in this day and age, that we just don't even know how. There's so much going on that we just don't even know how to slow down, to just be still and feel calm and be present. We're constantly thinking about what still needs to get done, what we have to do, what we haven't completed. And we've gotten really good at doing this. So good that we've actually forgotten how to just slow down, relax, and feel calm. But then along comes a pig. And it has absolutely no interest in your to-do list. They aren't impressed by how productive you are. They don't care how many emails you've answered today. They simply ask you to slow down enough to be present with them. I love how pigs invite us in to relax. They just love to be loved on. They love to be petted and cared for, and they invite us into that rhythm, that slower rhythm. And I think that's exactly what we need. One of my favorite things to witness at the petting zoo is when the pigs just flop over and people just finally settle into that same rhythm. Sometimes the pigs will just fully stretch out, they lay down, they close their eyes. Sometimes they even fall asleep. And when that happens, the people that are petting them, they actually slow down and they quiet themselves too. It's almost instinctive. It's like this symbiotic thing that's happening between the person and the pig. I've seen it dozens and dozens of times, and it never gets old. And I think that's one of the reasons people leave saying, this was so peaceful. I feel so calm. One of my favorites was, I feel grounded. A woman said that. That's exactly what the pigs do for us. And I'm so glad that people receive that when they come. And it happens not because the pigs somehow magically erase out our stress, but because they remind us of something that we've forgotten, a way of being that we've just really gotten out of practice and out of rhythm. Our day-to-day lives just don't always allow room for that slow rhythm, for that slowing down. They teach us and remind us to slow down, to breathe, and to be fully present for just even a few minutes. They help us to remember that not every moment has to be productive. Some moments are meant simply to be experienced. And maybe that's one of the greatest gifts pigs have to offer, not just companionship, but a gentle reminder that peace isn't something we have to chase. Sometimes it's already waiting for us. All we have to do is slow down and receive it.